it's hot. Today I'm going to be sewing some shorts because I only have one and a half pairs that I like. I made a pair of shorts last year. I really like them. I'm going to be using the same pattern today, but the fabric that I used is too thick for this weather. So the fabrics that I have today are, first of all, I've never worked with this sort of fabric before, but we have this gorgeous green nylon taslan. Nylon taslan, I think that's how you say it. I've never heard someone say it out loud. I've only ever read it. So I'm just taking a wild guess. But nylon taslan has basically been designed to look and feel and function like cotton. Obviously it doesn't, it's nylon, but it's sort of woven and constructed in a similar way. I believe it is a bit of a ball ache to work with. Again, I've never used it before. It's going to be an experiment. We're going to have a test. We're going to try it out. We're going to learn some things. I have 2 meters of this and I need about 1 meter for the shorts. So if it all goes wrong and the world burns down, it's okay. These are going to be hiking shorts. So I don't have any shorts that I like to hike in apart from one pair of running shorts that are like fitted and tight, and I need airflow. I'm an airflow kind of girl. My next pair, I want to use this. It's kind of giving gingham, but it's not. I don't know if it'll focus, but it's like a grid pattern, but from a distance, I think it looks like gingham. But I think this is really cute. I found this in the charity shop, literally for like £2. There's 2 meters. It's a cut length of fabric. It's not like an old bed sheet or anything. I would guess it's a poly blend. I am not against a poly blend in a summer short, purely because I'm a sweaty girl, especially around the waistband. I always find the waistband of shorts literally gets sodden when I wear them. I know that's gross. I'm sorry, that's disgusting. But it's true, and I won't be the only one. So everyone sweats. It's fine. I think synthetics have a place. They have a time and a place. And activewear and really hot summer wear is that time and place. Apologies, my mic died and I didn't realise. So now I get to re-record everything that I just said. I have changed my top and changed my hair. But let's carry on. So I don't mind a synthetic blend in a short. So these are going to be hiking shorts. So you want something that can dry really quickly. I did try and wear a pair of cotton shorts on a hike a couple of weeks ago when it was hot. Hated every second of it. They were wet, they were heavy. Ugh, they're just not good. And I know some people are more than happy to, but not me. So we've got those 2 fabrics to make 2 pairs of shorts. The pattern that I'm going to be making is the Workwear shorts by the Sample Room. Shout out to the Sample Room. This is not sponsored. I just really like her patterns. And without further ado, let's begin. Hello. Welcome to my parents' dining room, also known as my sewing studio. Being really careful to place as few pins as possible and only go where the seam allowances are going to be, because I'm 99% sure this fabric is going to show up every single pinhole. So we're going minimal. So when working with a fabric like nylon taslan, I've never worked with it before. It's quite hard to find information online. I've seen in places that you're supposed to use a ballpoint needle. Not entirely sure why, because it is a woven fabric, but I guess we'll find out. We'll do some experimenting. It's not like sleek and silky and shiny like a lot of nylon. It is matte, and like I say, it's supposed to imitate cotton. So we'll give it a go. These are my waistband pieces. I am going to be adding an extra 2 centimeters to the width of the waistband, purely because this is the elastic that I'm using, because it's what I've got, and it is too thick, so it would fit perfectly, but then there's absolutely no wiggle room. So I'm going to add an extra centimeter on each side, just to make sure that this elastic fits nicely. But I have all my pieces cut out. That didn't take me too long actually, maybe 15-20 minutes. But I did make the decision to do all my cutting at the hottest part of the entire day. So I'm going to go and have a cold shower, and I'll lie down in front of the fan, and I'll probably come back this evening when it's cooled down by about 10 degrees, because right now I can't do anything. What have you got to say about this weather? You're not a fan, are you, Freddie? Okay. It is now about 4 hours later, and it has cooled down by about 4 degrees. So I think I'm going to be a big brave girl and get the iron out. Let this video be a lesson in being proactive rather than reactive, because I am not having the best of times right now. And I would have enjoyed my shorts so much more if I made them a week ago. We live and we learn, eh? Hello. So, I got a bit lost in the sauce. I've sewn up the pockets. So you kind of do a fold, sew it down, sew all the way, and then this is all going to get flipped out in a second. So you end up with nice, neat, crispy corners. And I've also done the darts on the butt. I think they turned out quite nice. This fabric is pretty tricky to work with. I've skipped a couple of stitches on the machine. It's nothing crazy, and it only seems to be on the back stitch at the moment, so which is fine. I can resolve that by hand afterwards. So I'm hoping it doesn't start happening on actual seams, but we'll see. You just keep cracking at it. Ironing, again, kind of difficult. You can't have your iron really hot, because I'm used to working with like cottons and linens and stuff, and you just have it iron on full whack, and it's crisps like a joy. But this, no, I have to have the iron on like low medium at best, and hope it doesn't melt your fabric. But I think it's turning out okay so far. I mean, I'm still on step 1, so you know, got a bit of a while to go yet. And there we have one patch pocket, and that's the inside. Beautiful. I didn't really think about overlocking these side edges. Probably should have. Okay. I have quite literally made very little progress from the last clip. I've got 2 pockets, and I'm gonna have to go and sit down in front of the fan again with a cold drink, and maybe stick my feet in the cold bath, because I am sweating from places that I didn't even know I could sweat from. This project is going to take a lot longer than anticipated. Once again, reactive, not proactive, is a bad It's been a week. I've not really been doing anything for the whole week. It's been warm, so I'm going to make some pockets now. I've done what I always do and only cut out 2 side pocket pieces. So I'm going to cut out 2 more of these, do some overlocking, and let's get going. Also, when I said I've not been doing anything, that is in fact a lie. I've been working, pumping out the 12-hour shifts for the past 4 days, and it's finally cooled down, but I've been too tired to even contemplate doing any sewing. So this is my first sort of day off. I'm going to try and get these done today because it's going to be 30 degrees again next week, and the exact same thing's going to happen again. Pocket step 1 complete. I think this fabric is going to be my 13th reason, to be honest. Normally, I like making my insides look all perfect and just as nice as the outside. But no, the insides on this are none of my business, and I don't care. I just want to get these done. I keep skipping stitches. My sewing machine does not like this fabric at all. I had to change to a jersey needle. It's kind of helped. Fiddled around with the tension. I think it's currently on 6 and it's normally on a 4. Kind of helped, but nothing's really. We're not winning. It's a bit of a slog. I'm just trying to power through at the moment. Normally I like them to be all polished and neat and look just as good as the outside, but that ain't happening. I don't know if you can tell here, but we've been having some tension issues. It's kind of mending them, kind of not. Skip stitches. It's just, I'm not loving it. But I do have 2 finished legs, so we are making progress, slowly but surely. I literally filmed that last clip 10 minutes ago, and daylight has decided that it doesn't want to be here anymore, so apologies about the lighting. I now have 2 legs with the gusset nicely top stitched. The machine seems to be behaving itself a little bit more, but you know, touch wood, famous last words, all that business. So I'm going to turn one leg inside out and then keep one leg the right side out, put them together, and then we're going to sew up this crotch seam in one fell swoop. It's got these little knobbly bits on the front. These are going to get sewn together as one, and then once that's done, eventually they'll get folded over and top stitched down, so it just creates the effect of a fly, even though there isn't a fly there. So let's get these together and make a semi-complete pair of shorts. We have shorts. I've done the little fly J thingy majiggy, whatever you call it, and a lovely little top stitch all down the crotch seam. So now all I need to do is put the waistband on, which easier said than done, and hem the bottoms, and then they will be done. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to not have to sew this fabric anymore, to be honest. Are my pockets wonky? Oh my god, they're not. I think this is the first time I've made this pattern and the pockets have actually... are they wonky? No. Because you have to put the pockets on first before you sew up the back curve. I've always ended up with them slightly on the wonk. I think these ones are okay, which is a win. And I've just managed to find some 1-inch elastic in my stash. So this was the other one that I had. This was the one that I was going to use, but I've managed to find an inch one. So I think this is quite 2 inches. I think it's like maybe 4 centimeters, but it means I don't have to have a really thick waistband, which I'm quite happy about. I was a bit nervous about it being too thick. So that won't be a problem anymore. I've also made a little loop. Well, it's not a loop at the moment. It will become a loop. Made a little tube. I'm just going to flip it inside out, and then I'm going to sew it into the waistband, and it'll be a little carabiner loop or trinket loop, key loop, who knows. You can't beat a bit of hardware, can you? It just makes you look cool. Turning it inside out is easier said than done though. To be honest, the top stitching on this is absolutely diabolical, but I'm just going to leave it and see how it turns out. I'm about to put the waistband on, and we of course cannot forget our label. And here is my waistband, slightly thinner than it was before, just for the thinner elastic. We'll see how I get on with this. I might rage quit, who knows. That went surprisingly smoother than expected, to be honest. It actually fit the first time, which never normally happens. So you've got to take the small wins where you can get them. I'm going to fold this over, press this bottom up, and then top stitch this down. Leave a little gap so I can thread my elastic through. And there's my little carabiner loop. Okay, here's where we're at so far. So I've just done the waistband, sewing the elastic in. Looking pretty good. All I need to do now is hem the bottom, and we are finally done. It's the next day, and as you can see, my shorts are finished, very excitingly. I'll do a proper reveal at the end, but I'm going to move on to my next pair, and I think I want to use a different pattern. Let's go and print it out. Tomorrow I'm going to be making my second pair of shorts. However, I've decided that I want to use a different pattern. Just wasn't vibing with that one as much. I'm happy with the finished object, finished garment, item, project, object, whatever. I'm happy with the finished result, but I just want to try something different. So I've been eyeing up the Arthur pants from Sew Liberated for so long, like literally months, and I finally bit the bullet and bought the pattern. And what I'm going to do is make the Arthur pants but as shorts. I know the whole point of the Arthur pants is the barrel leg, which is the parties all happening at the bottom where shorts don't go. However, Sew Liberated make my most favourite trouser block that I've come across. I've got 3 pairs of trousers from them now, and they all just fit beautifully, like so nice. Literally made for me, right out of the packet. I just make a straight size 14. So we'll see how this goes. I printed this out, massive stack of paper, and now I get to stick it all together. Yay! I don't love sticking patterns together, but I don't hate it either. It's got to be done. But I know some people, it's like the worst possible nightmare. Normally I do like to get them printed on A0, but I don't have time. I want to do it tomorrow, and I only bought the pattern today. So sticking it all together it is. I'm sure I'll survive. I also got a tripod yesterday, so hopefully I can get some better angles now. Shorts, I've got a 12cm inseam, so I'm sort of going for roughly the same because that seems to be the length that I'm quite comfortable with. This fabric is very narrow. As you can see, I can't actually fit 2 halves on next to each other. They cross over, even if I go this way. It just ain't gonna fit. So I think we're just gonna end up using a bit more fabric than I anticipated. But it's okay, I have 2 meters of this, so should be enough. by about 2 centimeters. I've got enough. It's cut down here, and for the waistband and stuff, I'm just going to piece it together because piecing is what? Period. Underneath, we've literally got this much give, but we've done it, and I've just got to do the waistband and pockets, but I can do the pockets out of a different fabric. That's not the end of the world. Also, I don't know if anyone was expecting pattern matching. It's time to lower your expectations. That is not happening here. Not today. No thank you. And I don't even think I have enough fabric to pattern match, even if I wanted to. They'll come out how they come out. I'm gonna let God take the reins on this one. So I don't have enough fabric to do the waistbands on the on grain, going this way, but I might be able to squeeze them out on the cross grain if I go this way. And no one's going to know, are they? Except me and you. And then that means I can get my back pocket out of this piece. The front pocket is going to have to be out of a different fabric, but I will make a little facing here because the way this pocket works, I think, from what I can tell, is it folds in half. So this little corner will be peeking out. So I'll make a little strip, 2 little strips about that long, just so it all blends in on the side. And hopefully it'll all come together. Because this is the only fabric I have left for the waistband, I'm going to cut it slightly wider and slightly longer than it's supposed to be. I can always come back and change it later. However, I don't want to risk it being too small because I don't even want to tell you how many times that's happened to me. For whatever reason, ends up being like a centimetre too small. And if that happens today, I'll cry. So I'm going to be sensible because you can always take more off, but you can't add it back in. These are quite literally the last 2 pieces of fabric that I have that are long enough and wide enough. So we're going to try and squeeze out a pocket facing. Yeah, that'll be fine. This is all I have left over from that 2 meters of fabric. Damn. I think I have one slightly usable square. No idea what I'm going to do with it, but the rest of it is literally scraps. So let's hope and pray that nothing goes wrong. I found this red cotton lawn, viscose, something or other, buried away in my stash. So I'm going to use this to make the pockets. I mean, it kind of matches, so I'm going to give this a go. Should I do white? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to do white instead. Okay, take 2. I have this old toile that I made. It's got like pencil marks and stuff on it, but it's quite a nice quilting cotton. Once again, from the charity shop, I think it cost £1. But I'm gonna use this to make my pocket linings instead. Just because when I held the red up to the light, you could really see it through, whereas the white should blend in nicely. So, in terms of the pocket facings, I'm going to sew these 2 pieces together. So we've got a white piece and our ginghamy piece. Sew them together and then overlock it and flip it out. And we'll have a nice pocket. So where the little gap is, you're not going to see the white. Remember to make opposites, not twins, opposites, because I've done that before. Sew them together. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I've overlocked the edges and then just run a top stitch down onto the white side. Just A, so it's nice and secure, and B, so this seam allowance isn't going to flap around. So that's my pockets done. So now we can start on step 1. The next step is to connect the side back and the centre backs together. So I'm going to do that now. The pattern does call for flat felled seams, like proper ones, but I can't be asked doing that, so I'm just going to do overlock and fake flat fell seams because so much less hassle. And I'm on a bit of a time crunch because the second heat wave is coming, and I wanted to make these over a week ago and I've still not made them. In the interest of time, I will be overlocking. Okay, little update. We have a back with pockets. I didn't bother filming the pockets because they're made exactly the same way as the other ones. Look at those seams, don't they look good? And then we have two fronts that have also been sewn together. And now I'm going to sew this crotch seam down here. Do the same thing, overlock and top stitch. And then we'll be moving on to the little side. I can't remember what these type of pockets are called. Side pockets, but I can't remember the name of them. I do kind of wish I'd used a red thread rather than white. It should have been, it's like you literally can't see where my top stitching is, and I'm not gonna lie, especially on the pockets. It's very neat. And no one will ever know. What can you do? So now I've been working with this fabric a little bit more and it's been pre-washed. I have determined that it is definitely a 100% quilting cotton, just based on how it's behaving. And it's a dream. It's like night and day compared to the nylon, honestly. Everything just works. You wouldn't believe it. It's lovely. What is everyone's opinions on new Charlie XCX music? Me personally, not a fan of rock music, although it is starting to grow on me. Spring Summer 26, literally can't get that shit out of my head. I've been bopping along to it non-stop. And the new one, Wink Wink, again, wasn't a big fan at first, but it's been stuck in my head for 3 days straight, so I must like it to some degree. I'm enjoying the new era, it must be said. I don't know the words yet. CEO of putting my pins in the wrong direction. I'm good at that. You'd think I would have learnt by now, but clearly not. This was completely unintentional, but I have somehow managed to almost perfectly align my flat felled seams on my made up pocket facing. That's pretty crazy. I've done my French seams the wrong way around. I did it right at first, and then I doubted myself, unpicked it and redid it, and they're wrong. But it's only for like the bottom inside pocket edge, so I'm not too fussed. I don't care enough to fix it. I've already unpicked these twice. I don't really want to do it again, so I'm just going to sew up the bottom and pretend it never happened. Okay, we have a crotch seam. The sides are not yet done, but the bottoms are connected. And I've just held these up. To try them on. Well, like against my body. And if we say the crotch is here, where it's supposed to be. These are very high-waisted, and I've not even put the waistband on yet. My belly button's here, and they're here, and we've still got an inch of waistband to go. That's literally going to be under my boobs. That doesn't seem right. Let's try this. Okay, waistband is on. Look at this. Look at that beautiful stitch in the ditch. Isn't she perfect? I don't even know if you can see that stitching. And this is the inside. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? Got my label, of course. And now I'm just going to stick some elastics through. Once I've done that, last step, obviously, close that bit up. And then I need to hem the bottoms, but I can't decide how long I want them to be. So I'll put the elastic in first and then reassess once I can actually put them on and get a better idea of what I'm doing. Sewing has been temporarily interrupted. Hey? Chief sewing supervisor. Fred, don't sit down. Oi, move. Freddie, come on. Thank you. Okay, this is where we're at so far. So I've finished the waistband. That's quite nice. However, the crotch literally feels like it's down at my knees. I'm not a fan. If I want the crotch to be where I want it to sit, I literally have to pull these up to under my boobs. I think these are going to be house shorts. They're also kind of giving my first sewing project, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they are not my first sewing project. Or my second or my third. I think for the hem, I want to take quite a lot off just because they're so low. I think I want them to sit about here, which is like, what's that? 3 inches? Maybe? 4? I don't know. I'll go measure it in a minute. See how I feel about them after the hemming, but I don't think it's going to change my mind. Ready? I've made the executive decision to be lazy and hem these shorts from the inside, not the outside, because I can't be bothered anymore. Don't really like them, but I just need to do this last step, so let's just get it done. Okay, final reveal time. Let's discuss my thoughts and feelings on my shorts. So these are the first one. Just a reminder, these are the Workwear shorts from the sample room. When I first finished these the other day, I wasn't the biggest fan. However, I do really like them now. I think sometimes you just need a day away from a project, come back to it and be like, oh, this is actually quite good. Probably quite relevant for the next pair. I really like the fabric. It was awful to work with. Like, awful. Don't recommend. 0 out of 10. But I love the final result. So ultimately, I guess it was worth it. You can see some of the sort of top stitching details. So we've got the little fly top stitching, all the seams, the pockets with the bar tacks, so they'll stay nice and strong. Back pockets. Yeah, overall, big fan of these. I would say my biggest gripe with this pattern is you do end up with a couple of like raw clipped seams, like where you do like your notches and you clip the edges. There's no way to finish them off. So you do end up with a couple of like little raw bits on the inside, which kind of annoys me, but it's fine. I did a thinner waistband than what the pattern calls for. I just did a row of top stitching down the middle of the elastic as well. I don't think the pattern tells you to do that. I can't remember. I actually haven't taken these off since I finished them, so I must like them really. Do a little 360. And the second pair, I think they look quite cute like this, like just sticking at the bottom of an oversized t-shirt. Looks like a little flowy skirt. I'm not very happy with these because it feels like the crotch is literally around my knees, which is annoying because normally the patterns from Sew Liberated are like perfect out the packet, but not these ones. The crotch is literally here and I would want it to be here. So, you know, very nice, fun pattern to construct, very speedy. I think it's literally taken me about 4 or 5 hours to make these. No complaints there. We've got nice pockets. I wish the pockets were a bit bigger. They're not the biggest of pockets. They're fine. They're big enough, but I wish they were bigger because I like to put a lot of things in my pockets. I like the top stitching waistband. That's really sort of pulled it together a little bit, made it look a bit more professional. I'll show you the back. I do like them, I think. But I think they're going to be house shorts, like chill loungewear shorts. Purely because, again, of the crotch issue. I'm not walking miles in these. The Chub Rub says otherwise. Completely forgot to mention as well. I would make both of these again. Obviously, I have made the workwear shorts once already, so I do like that pattern. The Arthur pants shorts, I would make again, but I would make adjustments. I think I would drop the waistline by a minimum 2 inches, if not 3. I'd have to experiment and give it a go. Probably 2 inches because the crotch is just so low. Like, if I want the crotch to sit where I want it to sit, the waistband is a bra strap. Would make again with adjustments. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed watching me crash out a little bit. It has cooled down a bit now. So when I first started this video, it was 34 degrees. Now it's 23 degrees. And then in a few days, it's going back up to 30 degrees. So at least I'm prepared this time. I've got 2 new pairs of shorts. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they will get me through what is about to come. If you're in the UK or Europe, I guess France, you will know.